Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. This is an episode about the videos, many of which are card wall videos, and the other are box reveals. I don't do a lot on YouTube, but that's where these go. And I get questions about them, so I want to answer them. For those of you who are audio only, which is most of you, I'll try to have sports card insights that you can use even if you haven't seen the videos in question. But thanks, sponsors, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, ComC.com, Burbank Sports Cards, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Heritage Auctions, Huggins Scott Auctions, Topps, Upper Deck, and Panini. First question out of the 10. Not a question, it was from Alf Tanner. Said, didn't expect you to open cards on your videos. Chromium cards just spin when you one-hand them. They spin and slide. You are right, Alf. I am having difficulty opening cards with one camera that's shooting down at the cards, and I try to put them down cleanly one at a time or pull them off one at a time. I don't think I'm doing a very good job. So now, Alf, you've pointed out that it's not my fault. It's the coating on the cards that it makes it too shiny and slippery. No, actually, it really is my fault. I need a better system. I tried using gloves one time. That didn't help. And frankly, I can't even see the cards very well. And so maybe you, the viewers, can't see them as well either. I still think it's worth doing. When I do the card wall videos, it's a little easier because all of those are in slabs, and the slabs don't really slip and slide. In fact, the slab design, when we design them, there's some male-female, so they fit snugly together and they stack without sliding around. But when I'm just opening up a pack, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And even when I pre-slit the packs, it still seems like I'm having some difficulties. Maybe I can figure out another way to add some friction to it so the cards don't slide out of camera view even. Number 2 from Mark Zenkovich, I think, M. Zenko, which I think that's who that is. He thinks Randy Moss should stay on the wall due to his immense talent. I am in agreement. It hurts that his best game was against the Cowboys in an unforgettable way that Rich remembers more vividly than I do. But he was probably a generational talent as a receiver. He had it all. He was fast. He was big. Every jump ball seemed like he got him. Let's see. Number 3 was from MJ Family Time, asking about the video where I opened the Panini Prism Deca basketball hobby box. And that was fun. Again, very slippery cards. But he mentioned that I got some great veteran parallels. Yeah, I love it when I'm getting cards that have current players as well as veteran established legends. Now, he says, always happy to see a West Virginia guy like Jason Williams. He says he's still relevant. Again, a Florida Gator. But in fact, he went to high school with Randy Moss. That's the reason I'm saying this now. I think he grew up in Charleston, West Virginia. They were teammates. Randy went to Marshall, and I don't remember if Jason Williams transferred into Florida, but that was back when Florida was pretty strong in basketball and have been for a long time. But I just remember him. I don't know, forget what they called him, but I remember he just had a lot of wild passes and crazy stuff, and most of it worked. I think he had a lot of turnovers, but he sure had a lot of assists too. And he's very popular for me on ComC. When I look in the dollar boxes and I find any kind of a Jason Williams that's a little bit unusual, I shouldn't say unequivocally I pick him up, but I certainly consider it, whereas somebody else from the same set I might not, because he really sells because he has a following. Again, guys that have the ball in any sport and are doing things and have the camera on them generally have a chance to be more popular. He has a following. Okay, next, another one from Mark Zenkovich. It said, nice to see Doug McWilliams, the photographer, get his own card. I had not seen that one before. Of course, you haven't seen it before. It was not released. It was not in a pack. Doug McWilliams, very worthy. And the only reason I have it is I traded him. I traded him my card for his card, even up. And I considered that a great deal. I think there are probably 100 cards of his, Mark, that are out there for Doug McWilliams. I don't know. I'm not going to out his address. I have his address, but if you were to contact him or see him at a show, he's out on the West Coast. I think he's got 100 cards, and I think I got 100 cards. I still have some, but they're tough. They're supposed to be tough. I'm very honored to be in the set with him. Next is from TK. He says, loves the rare stuff that's in the card wall videos. Probably each of the panels of 8. I've done 50 or 60 of them. I've got 64 panels. Eventually I'll get through. So maybe I've only done about 50 of them. But he says the Tim Raines Memphis Chicks card, when Tim Raines is a pre-rookie when he was in the minor leagues. He said it's very tough these days. Then he says, if you're ever looking to unload it, I'd be interested. And unfortunately, for those of you who also think that way, I am just not going to be able to maintain a master list of who wants what for when I am gone. I'm trying to sell stuff while I'm around, and that, since it's on my wall, unfortunately, TK would not be something that will be put out there, and not in the first 90 months. Let's put it that way. And I don't know that I'd auction it or put it in a fixed price thing, but I'd love for my cards to get in the hands of people that don't want to resell them, but want to have them, but just haven't figured out a good way to do that. Next, from Beansball Card Blog, my friend Ken, he really liked the video, the card wall portion that had, I think it was Phil Necro up through Akeem Olajuwon. And he said, yes, that's an Olajuwon XRC. Now, XRC, unfortunately, are fighting words to some. Again, as I've said, it's a type of rookie card. It's certainly a rookie card, but it's not an RC, it's an XRC. And generally, the XRCs have a lot of value. And Akeem, I saw him play a lot in college because he was in Houston, and I saw him a lot in the pros and was an amazing player on both ends of the court. But that's his first card. And again, in the same draft as MJ. Next, from Stuke, mentioning that in the video card wall from Pee Wee Reese up through probably Maurice Richard, maybe that was Pocket Rocket. But anyway, from Reese to Richard. And he said he hadn't seen the Pee Wee Reese Volpe mini portrait there, and I'd never seen it before either. So I think that's very tough. And then he said he took a picture behind home plate at the Jackie Robinson ballpark in Daytona in 2017, and he didn't know the significance until he heard about the Pee Wee Reese card story. And I think I can tell this right. There was a time, maybe it's 47, may have been spring training or 47, I don't know when it was, but it was when Pee Wee Reese, who was an established Dodger, a well-respected Dodger, shortstop, rookie card, 41 play ball, so he'd been around for a while. And here's Jackie Robinson coming up from the Negro Leagues, and he's going to play first or second base. He played different things. But anyway, Pee Wee Reese may even have been the captain of the Dodgers. Pee Wee Reese from Kentucky, which is in some sense deep south. And somehow it came about that when some photographers were there, Pee Wee went up to Jackie and put his arm around him. They just had a bro, not a hug, but but this is my buddy. This is my friend. And it really, I think, got hate mail for Pee Wee Reese from some of the people, but it garnered respect for him from others. And it really went, I think, a long way toward Jackie Robinson's acceptance by his teammates. Now, if you've watched the movie, the 42 movie, you can see that not every Dodger was a big fan of Jackie being, even though he was a great player, and he helped them win. But there were people that were pretty ingrained in their background to not be accepting. Next, from Bam 92, says Aaron Donald deserves a place on the wall. You are right. You are right, Bam. He says he's really enjoying the card wall videos. I did live in Pittsburgh when I was a little kid. That may be known. But my team, my first favorite college team was the Pitt Panthers. And I remember going and seeing the Panthers. We went at least once a year. And I remember seeing Mike Ditka play when he was in college, and he was just a beast. Aaron Donald is more recent, but also was a beast and one of the best at his position ever. I could have gone there. And because of that, you are right. I should get Aaron Donald on the wall. And I'm already past the D's, so I don't know if I'm going to be going back through, but I am adding things. And if I pick up a great Aaron Donald card, you're right. I think he absolutely deserves it. Another one from Mark Zenkovich, and he's not being mean about it. This is what I like about our hobby, is there's a nice way to see. So I don't think Anthony Richardson has done enough to be included on your wall, in his opinion. It's very straightforward. I agree analytically, but on the other hand, this is a quarterback industry and hobby, and he has massive potential. He's in again, out again, in again, and we will see. But if he hits it, I'll look brilliant if I've got him on the wall, and I guess I'll look stupid if I keep him on the wall if he's relegated to backup duty. But I did get that from a pack, so I didn't get it out of a dollar box. So that's another reason to keep it up there. So I take your point. You are right. But if in doubt, I'm going to go with some of the quarterbacks a little bit longer and give them a chance. The Desmond Ritter, the Zach Wilsons, who else am I got to worry about? There's Kyle Trask. There's some guys that had some fanfare and now maybe not going to be. But Anthony Richardson, give him a chance. And then lastly, from West 238th Street, said, love to see the card you found of your dad's. What video was it in? Actually, I got about 400 cards from my dad. And so I distinctly remember runs of cards that I got. I've since merged them in, but I do remember that I definitely had a Gehrig and a Ruth, and Billy Herman was his favorite when he was a young teenager. But he had play balls too. He had Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio and some 39, 40, 41, mainly 40s, but 39, 40, 41 play balls. But I'm not going to make a card wall for my dad, but I want to make a spot for my dad. And so I think right now I just had the Gehrig and the Ruth that I have up on my wall are from my dad's collection. They're twos or things like that. So they're not in great condition. My dad flipped them. Again, I'm sure not mad at my dad. I loved and respected my dad, and he really appreciated. I don't think he got the collecting gene in the same way. And yet, he had 430s cards from when he was a kid that his parents kept. Just what a blessing. And it changed the course of my history. So you better believe I'm going to keep cards from my dad up there. But I'm not going to do so many that they say, hey, how come you have so many play balls? That was from my dad. He had a Joe Jackson play ball and the old timer kind of thing, which at the time was not a big deal and now would be one of the best cards in the set. And Joe DiMaggio #1. That was great. So thanks for asking. When I get to the Babe Ruths, I will mention that. And that probably will be in the next volley of Cardwall videos. Appreciate the feedback. I think the feedback on YouTube is really appreciated. It's a platform that really promotes and encourages that. And I'm enjoying that. So I just jumped into YouTube as an afterthought. But if I wasn't there at all, I wouldn't have been able to do these videos. And some of them are box reveals and some of them are my Cardwall things. So I'll be into 2025, I'm sure, with finishing up the card wall, but the end is in sight. I'm already up to the R's. Thanks, everybody. I'll be back again in a couple days with another episode, and keep on hobbying.